All right. We are live. We are on the air. Places, everybody. Okay. I think we're ready. What's up, everybody? It's your boy Nick here, and here is another round of the Big Brother 27 recap show. We are just past the halfway mark. We have now entered the final month of Big Brother 27. It is bittersweet, but the feeling that the holidays will be right after Big Brother is over gives me excitement. However, there has just been so much drama going on this season. It's going to be an epic finish. So, and there's still a lot of game left to play because we have 10 people remaining, and the finale is catching up pretty quickly. So, expect to see a bunch of fast-paced drama in the next 4 weeks. So, without further ado, let's get into the recap because we have a lot to talk about. Let me get set up. Hope everyone had a great Labor Day weekend. There we go. Okay, we ready. All right, so we got the presentation put up. So this week we're going to be talking about week 8 in the Big Brother house. We have a big BB26 returnee coming, and could this week be the final blockbuster? It's starting to look like it. And you'll see this little note at the bottom of your screen. The Big Brother finale, we are now counting down to the Big Brother finale, which is in T-minus 23 days. So be ready for that. Well, I seem to start this every presentation. Another eviction, another heartbreak. And this time it was, that is if your name is Lauren, because Catherine had just been evicted from the Big Brother house, and everyone was pretty much content. Of course, Catherine was Lauren's number one, but we still haven't seen much from Lauren, so whatever. And of course, Keanu is he's just floored at this point. After the whole blow up with Vinny last week, once again he is saying goodbye to another loyal ally. So Keanu is just done with Vinny at this point, and right now he's got to look out for himself and Kelly, basically. Meanwhile, Rachel, let's see. Rachel nearly escaped being put on the block last week, and now she realizes that she needs to win this head of household if she wants to save herself, because jury is coming up, and this next eviction is very crucial because whoever survives this eviction is going to jury. So, and she's been so against not wanting to be in jury, not to make it to jury just to be the first person evicted. She's been strongly against it, and she's already been a juror before. Second time she played, she won the game. So yeah, at this point, Rachel needs to start winning in order to guarantee her safety. Not only that, but she's saving everybody as well. Meanwhile, Keanu and Kelly realize that these two only have each other in this game. They haven't been close friends, but they realize that they can trust each other. So they need to win the power this week in order to shake up the house and have the people scurrying. Although they are working together, Keanu and Kelly both have different agendas. Last week we had that blow up with Keanu and Rachel. Keanu was trying to get Rachel renommed last week during Vince's HOH. Rachel found out, and she was not too happy with Keanu. So Keanu was trying to make nice, and if he wins HOH, he's going to make sure she doesn't see the block at all, and we'll go after the bigger targets. Meanwhile, Kelly has a different agenda. Kelly would love the opportunity to put Rachel up on the block. So if Kelly wins HOH, she intends on doing that, and will likely also put Vince right next to her on the block. So looks like everybody has a goal in mind. So let's move on to the head of household competition. Mystere moments. Now, the night before, the house guests stayed up watching loops of certain events in the BB27 house. This would be crucial going into tonight and going into the head of household competition. So they had to all pay attention, except for Vince. Well, Vince was still watching, but Vince wouldn't be able to compete. So let's go back to this picture real quick. Like I said, everybody's got their own agenda. Mickey is trying not to be on the block once again after being nominated multiple times, having saved herself a couple times. So, and I already mentioned Keanu and Kelly's motives. Rachel obviously trying to win to not only guarantee her safety, but also save Ava and Ashley. So who ends up winning head of household? Not only that, but whoever wins this head of household is going to be the first house guest guaranteed at least jury. So it's a very crucial head of household. That lucky winner is Keanu. Congratulations, Keanu. This was a much deserved win, and it's about time you finally won. So Keanu is now in power, and everyone is starting to panic, including Vince. Especially since Vince screwed Keanu over 3 times since they've been working together. The Adrian vote, the Riley vote, and the Catherine vote. Vince burned him 3 times. It's not going to work this time, Vince. Your waterworks are not going to fly this time. And Keanu saw right through him. In fact, Vince was already going to work trying to win sympathy from Keanu, but he flat out told Vince that without telling him he was going to go on the block, he pitched this idea that Morgan would go on the block. Yeah, he straight up told Vince that Morgan is the target. And the reason Vince would be going up is because if he won the veto, if he wasn't nominated and he won the veto, he would for sure save Morgan. So that was basically his reason for putting Vince up next to Morgan. And of course, Vince doesn't like that. He's an old softy, so he's panicking, trying every angle, be like, please don't nominate me. Please don't nominate me. I know I screwed up. I know I burned you. Yeah, you only burned him 3 times, okay, Vince? Your waterworks are not going to work this time. Keanu even said that. And so Vince started playing the pity game. Oh, woe was me. I should have put Rachel up last week. I should have listened to you, and I didn't. Now I'm going to have to pay the price. Not only that, but he's going to have his best ally sitting on the block next to him. Again, now, and of course, now that Keanu's in power, Rachel has this big old smile on her face. She's gonna put a smile on her face and try to play nice for the week to assure that she doesn't get put on the block. So, of course, she went right to Keanu and was trying to win sympathy. Oh, let the butt kissing begin. Oh, this was the HOH that we needed so badly. He's got everyone scared. Not only that, but Rachel is also thinking about Ava and Ashley, making sure that they don't see the block either. So. Now, remember, we still have the Judges Alliance. We haven't talked about the alliances yet, but this seems to be the big one. So we got Ashley, Morgan, Rachel, Vince, and Will. Now, already we're looking at Morgan and Vince sitting on the block this week. There is potential for Ashley, which honestly, Rachel seems to be closer to Ashley than Ava. Granted, Rachel is still with Ava. She's going to ride with Ava until it's time to cut somebody loose. But it seems like she spends all her time with Ashley. So Rachel's going to do whatever it takes to make sure Ashley is safe. So Keanu and Rachel did have that conversation about Ashley not going up. But let me make this clear. Rachel and Keanu made the promise that Ashley would not be one of the initial nominees. Rachel didn't say anything about being a renom. Now, that's going to come into play later on in the presentation. So just make note of that. Keanu said, I would not put Ashley up as an initial nominee. Okay. Remember that for later. Now, let's not forget about Mickey. We haven't forgot about you yet because, yeah, you're still a big target as well. And yes, she did do this, by the way. I know this is going to trigger so many people. I apologize. But Mickey had just escaped the block. She won the veto. She knows that her and Keanu are not on good terms. They do not talk game at all. So it's pretty clear Mickey is likely going to see the block. So Mickey makes an effort to try to talk to Keanu and try to be like, look, there's some bigger fish to fry. I'm not, I really am not worthy of going on the block, let alone getting sent home. So now, I know we thought we were done talking about Vince. We're not done yet, because right before the nominations, here goes Vince again, talking to Keanu, making sure everything is good. And, Keanu lets Vince have it, basically saying, like, obviously, I want Morgan to go home. But if Morgan doesn't go home this week, losing you would not be worst case scenario. He flat out told Vince that. He basically said if Morgan doesn't go home this week, if she escapes the block, you going home is not the worst situation. So of course Vince is panicking and goes and tells Morgan, like, we're for sure growing up on the block. Something I forgot to put on this presentation, I've noticed how close Vince and Morgan have been getting in the house. They've been hugging quite a bit. Mind you, Vince has a girlfriend at home. Yeah, he's been getting very close with Morgan, even as close as to showering together, obviously in different little stalls, but still, come on. And then Vince is, oh, and I should have put the picture of him laying on his deathbed. There's some pictures I'm going to be putting in the next Big Brother show, recap show. But he's literally on his have-not bed, and Morgan is just right there, like, rubbing his arm, saying, oh, pobrecito, everything's going to be okay. Oh my God, I kid you not. I wonder what his girlfriend is thinking right now. Like, that's so crazy. Okay, let's talk about the alliances. So we've already talked about the judges, and they seem to be content on staying together. We still have the core four. I don't know for how long, but we still got the core four and the Peach Cobbler Alliance. We still have a final two with Vince and Lauren, as well as Vince and Keanu. However, this final two is going to be tested this week. We'll see if this final two still exists after this week. And the Frenemies Alliance between Rachel and Keanu. Now that Keanu's in power, Rachel is going to do whatever it takes to be on his good side. Call it fake, if you will. And then we have the Double the Fun Alliance, Rachel and Ava. And Ava has a final two with Will. Okay, now it's time for the nominations. The nominations pre-veto are Vince, Mickey, and Morgan. Well, surprise, surprise. I could have swore these were Rachel's nominations during her week as HOH. However, Keanu always has some tricks up his sleeve. In fact, he has an idea about possibly saving Vince. He talks about if he wins the veto, he would likely take Vince off the block and maybe put someone up like Ashley, possibly. Now, Morgan and Vince obviously realize they're going to have to go head to head. And Ava and Ashley are quite content with the nominations. In fact, Ava was quite shocked. However, they're not out of the blue just yet, because if one of the nominees come down, it's likely going to come down to these two, because Keanu will not touch Kelly at all, as well as Lauren. So that just only leaves these two. So don't get too comfortable just yet, Ava. Meanwhile, Rachel is already trying to look ahead to renoms, possibly. She is looking to play in the veto so she can keep the nominations the same, and will do whatever it takes to make sure Ava and Ashley are not renoms at any point. Meanwhile, Kelly wants to get picked for the veto in order to, well, now here's what's going on. Kelly would love to play the veto in order to keep the noms the same. However, Keanu is toying with the idea of saving Vince. So he approaches Kelly about her possibly winning the veto and using it on Vince. And Kelly's like, hold on a minute. You weren't the only one that got burned by Vince. I did too. And he screwed me over 3 times as well. And now I'm supposed to save him with the veto? Where's the logic in that? No. Kelly said, nuh-uh. If I win the veto, Vince is staying up on the block. No way, no how. No discussion. So it looks like everyone has different agendas with the veto. All right, it is time for the Power of Veto competition, and it's an old school classic, the stacking competition, where you have a whole bunch of pieces and you have to stack them however you wish and make sure they don't fall. There's a technique to it, you just have to figure it out yourself. Plus, we have Angela's grand return to the Big Brother house. Yes, Big Brother favorite from last year, Angela, returned to host this week's veto competition. And she is also she's known for many moments in Big Brother 26, and you can go look at them online. The big one was the crazy eyes argument that you see at the bottom, where she basically, what she did was she stereotyped one of the guys in the house for being the jock, the stud, the one that's going to flirt with all the girls, and that just kind of came out of left field. Sorry. And so the night before the crazy eyes fight, her and the guy Matt, that was the victim, not the victim, but the target, was having a conversation about possibly putting him up. And he made a comment that to her kind of sounded threatening a little bit. So the next morning she gets up and basically attacks Matt, calls him crazy eyes because of, sometimes he does this with his eyes, You can go watch the fight on YouTube, but it is gold. It is TV gold. And then another big moment. She, like I said, she was known for so many moments in Big Brother 26. The other moment, which is the inspiration for this week's veto competition, was the charcuterie gate. We're calling it charcuterie gate. When Angela was HOH, she was awarded a charcuterie board, and she left it in the fridge. She was going to eat it later on because the charcuterie boards can still stay fresh for a few weeks. So the week that she was a have-not, which means she can only eat slop, she couldn't eat any other food, people decided to grab her charcuterie board and just start eating everything. And that's how she reacted. She was basically on the floor, crying her eyes out. Probably the one person that cried the most in the Big Brother house, probably ever. I don't think anybody else has cried as much as she has. Maybe Big Meech from Big Brother 18 is a close second, but yeah. So just take some time to go back and watch Big Brother Angela. Yeah, she's got some meme-worthy moments. Anyway, we have a winner of Angela's special veto competition. The winner is Morgan. Congratulations, it's your first veto win. Your first win ever, actually. So now Ava and Ashley's like, well, this isn't good because now there is a renom coming up and now we are in big trouble. One of us is going on the block for sure. However, Vince has an idea now as to who is going to be taken off the block. Vince has a genius idea. In fact, he brings it up to Keanu and discusses Morgan taking Vince off the block and basically risking her surviving the block, risking her surviving the block. Now, Morgan would only do this if Keanu puts Ashley up on the block. So now, as tempting as it is, Morgan had to think about this for a minute because Vince is her number one. And honestly, Morgan has proven that she will bend over backwards for Vince at any given opportunity. However, if you are the one holding the veto and you are the one that's in trouble, you need to not make a stupid move and just save yourself. Don't pull a Zach, basically. Zach had $10,000 to cash in to save himself, but chose not to. Even if your best friend is on the block, I'm sorry, you got to use that veto to save yourself. You have, in the end, it's only one winner, not two. Okay. Now, Rachel, of course, is getting nervous. Again, she's playing Keanu's favorite this week, so she will do whatever it takes to keep them safe. That includes going into the kitchen and cooking a lasagna for Keanu to assure that Keanu will not put up Ashley or Ava, because she already senses that's where his head is lying. But Keanu's like, thanks for the food, but probably still gonna probably put up Ashley. So now, after much thought, Morgan is starting to think, what if I get hoodwinked? Maybe I shouldn't use the veto on Vince. Maybe I should just take myself off the block and just take the risk. Oh, sorry. I should also mention, I was going to put a picture, but right before the veto ceremony, Ashley and Keanu had a sit down of him possibly putting Ashley up. The thought of him putting Ashley up on the block. Ashley was a sharpshooter and was like, she tried to shut that down real quick. Like, if you put me up, basically, I'm going to come for you. That's all it is, So let's see what happens. Now, obviously, Morgan is going to use the veto to save herself. So let's take her off. So let's see who is going to be the replacement nominee heading into the blockbuster. The replacement nominee is Ashley. Now, I just mentioned that she was not going to take that sitting down, and sure enough, she let Keanu have it. Right when she was going up on the block, she had a whole speech ready for Keanu. And guess what? We have the audio. So get ready because she's about to go off.
Congratulations. I know for the past 7 weeks you've been trying to get me to go on the block. So glad you finally succeeded. And also congrats on, giving up the Tarzan act and putting your shoes on your feet. But somehow your foot is still in your mouth. Because on Thursday, you said that I'm safe for the week. So congratulations. And I love that, it's no surprise because you're the biggest liar in this house and everybody knows it. And somehow you think you're a mastermind, yet you put your own ally on the block. Some mastermind that potentially he may go home on your own HOH. What a failure there. And you'll be seeing your face on that wall on Friday. I'm pretty sure of it. So enjoy your power, Keanu.
Can you just please sit down?
Kisses.
Can you just please sit down?
I'll sit. I'll take
Don't
a seat.
talk to her like that.
And guess what? You'll be taking a seat here on Friday as well.
Okay.
Mwah.
Okay. Are you done?
Oh, I'm done when I say I'm done.
Are you
Don't
done?
talk to me like that. You
Are
think
you
you
done?
are the biggest
Are you
narcissist
done?
in the house
Are
and can
you
go
done?
off and talk to women like they're crazy, and it's not going to happen here. Now I'm done.
Whoa. That's crazy. Let me get this ready real quick. Just getting my music real quick. Take a moment to decompress with what just happened. So yeah, Ashley let him have it. And if you heard Rachel chimed in, basically saying, "Don't talk to Ashley like that." Yeah. So basically, she had to chime in and defend Ashley. Honestly, if you watch the video, um, you can see that Keanu was like composed. You know, he wasn't trying to talk over her, yell over her, if you will. Uh, but of course, Rachel and Ashley got on the defensive real quick. Even after the nominations, Ava went up to Keanu, and Keanu tried to explain that, look, I told Ashley she is not going to be one of the initial nominees. She didn't say anything about the renom. So he wanted to assure Ava that he was telling the truth, but she doesn't know if Rachel's telling the truth, so she's just kind of sitting on the sidelines, just kind of watching it unfold. And Ashley was ready to shut that down real quick. She saw Ava going up and talking to Keanu and was like, don't let Keanu try to manipulate you and everything. And they get into it once again. I don't have the audio for that one. Although I wonder if I can find it.
So honestly, I also heard that.
Hmm. Trying to see if I can find the audio. Oh, here we go. I don't know if you could hear that, but Rachel's trying to accuse him of antagonizing them, trying to like demean them, trying to get aggressive over women and all that. And you know, he's in the corner just kind of, and they were trying to accuse him of like yelling at them, and he wasn't, honestly. Even Julie Chen Moonves said that as well, the host Julie. So I don't know, they just couldn't handle the fact that they got duped. So anyway, now let's not forget Mickey. Although Ashley just went on the defensive, Mickey is still not in the clear just yet, because I will say this: if Mickey does not win the blockbuster, she is in big trouble. So Mickey is going around looking to campaign to her allies, her supposed alliance members, Morgan and Will, trying to get their votes. So, and she talks about them giving like 50%, like it's a 50-50 shot. Like, no, I need 100%. But Mickey, you shouldn't stress, because you said yourself you have the votes, right? Okay. So once again, she confides with her alliance members, Morgan and Will, to see if she actually does have the votes. Now, they're obviously not going to tell her if she's going home or not. You know, they want to still be in good graces with her. She even goes and talks to Vince in case that Vince gets pulled off the block from the blockbuster. She needs to assure she's got his vote. And he agreed. He would likely keep her and try to get Ashley to go home to try to weaken Rachel. So with that, oh, okay, forget it. All right, with that in mind, let's talk about the blockbuster. Now, we had speculation that this was going to be the last blockbuster of the summer. We still didn't get confirmation that this was the last one, so it looks like next week we might still have a blockbuster competition. So this one was called Forensic Frenzy, and there was multicolored balls that would be shot in the air through like a little fan thingy. They had to line up the balls according to this color graph right here. First person first person to finish would be off the block. After all that forensic frenzy, the person who wins the blockbuster is Vince. Congratulations, Vince. You needed this win severely, or you would have likely, well, if Mickey had won the blockbuster, you would have been going home. So here we go. Eviction number 8. Ashley versus Mickey. The former allies now turned against each other. Let's see how the votes fell. Vince voted for Ashley to go home. That one was a shock. And then after seeing the results, I started thinking, Vince better not be pinning this vote on somebody. I swear to God. And I hope Keanu doesn't fall for his trick again. I hope when this vote gets read, he looked right at Vince. So I swear, Vince, you better not be trying to pin this vote on somebody, especially Kelly. You better not be pinning this vote on Kelly. We'll find out next week if he did or not. Rachel voted for Mickey. Will voted for Mickey. Kelly voted for Mickey. Lauren voted for Mickey. Morgan voted for Mickey. And Ava voted for Mickey. So Mickey has been evicted from the Big Brother house by a vote of 6-1. Now it's time to update the memory wall. And there you go. Whoa! No. And there you go. That's 10 house guests. 8 house guests. I'm sorry. 8 house guests evicted. Ladies and gentlemen, the final 9. And with that, everyone has made it to the jury phase. So take a good look at this. 7 of these house guests are going to be on the jury. 1 is going to win $75,000. And 1 is going to win the almighty $750,000 in just 23 days. Now, sorry to all the East Coast people watching right now, but Big Brother Unlocked is on right now, so you better get on to CBS and start watching. As for everybody else, make sure to tune in at 8 o'clock p.m. for the next Big Brother Unlocked with special guest from NSYNC, Lance Bass. Plus, you will get info on the next big twist that is to come this week. And I have no information at this point as to what the twist is about. They are being very hush-hush about it, so we'll see what happens. I have updated the September schedule because a few changes were made. So tonight is Big Brother Unlocked. Big programming note, this Sunday, there will be no Big Brother because Sunday is the Video Music Awards on CBS. And yes, tomorrow we will be doing our Video Music Awards predictions. I have my picks ready to go, and we will do another live stream, and I will give you my predictions. So the next Big Brother episode will be this Tuesday, September 9th, with a special 1-hour episode at 8 o'clock p.m. Then so that will kick off the trifecta of Big Brother episodes this week. Next episode will be Wednesday, September 10th. It'll be another 90-minute episode. And then Thursday, September 11th, which was originally a 2-hour episode, has now gone back to 1 hour. And that kind of screwed me up because I was hoping it was going to be a 2-hour episode. And I had requested the next day off of work. So that kind of sucks. But I'm not going to change it. I'm just going to take my 3-day weekend and we'll just go from there. There will be no Big Brother. There will be no Sunday episode again on the 14th because the Emmy Awards will be on CBS as well. And this one, we're going to have to wait almost a whole week for the next Big Brother episode, which to make up for it, there will be a 2-hour episode Wednesday, September 17th at 8 o'clock p.m. And then mark your calendars because on Thursday, September 18th, we have a 2-hour eviction episode at 8 o'clock p.m. My gut is telling me we're getting a triple eviction. I think the signs are there. Like, it has to happen. And I have my jury roster ready to go. Now it's pretty unclear how when the first 5 jurors are going to go. We're just going to have to wait and see. I can only guarantee the last 2 jurors to enter will be on the 25th and 28th. The 28th is finale night. But so the jury roster is ready to go. Next episode, we will be filling in the first set of juror spots. I also need to go over how the jury is going to work next week as well. So we'll probably do that at the very beginning before we send our first house guest to jury. So be ready for that. Okay, so next week on the recap show, week 9 recap, and the mastermind returns with the next big twist of the season. With only 3 weeks left to go, what does the mastermind have in store? And the first juror or jurors, because I had predicted this week was going to be a double eviction. So we're going to see what happens. But nevertheless, we are sending our first person to jury on Thursday. And that is it. Okay, we're getting exciting now that the jury is starting. It's time to get to work. Let's get this going. It's going to be a very short jury house this year, so um, oh well. I don't. They're trying to rush it this year. Um, Again, tomorrow I'm going to be doing my Video Music Awards stream, so make sure you have your notification bells ready to go. Like, subscribe, get the notification bell ready to go, and next week we'll have our next recap show, and I will do the recap as well for the VMAs. And if you want to go ahead and mark your calendar, I believe it's going to be Sunday, September 21st. We're bringing back Nick Picks for the end of summer special, the top 50 songs of the summer. You want to go ahead and mark that. I'm going to get that ready to go as well. So that's kind of what's going on pretty soon. So, but anyway, yeah, thank you guys for watching so much. All my contact info will be at the description, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.